righty, welcome back here to Holonet Weekly. It's your go-to source for all your competitive SWU news. This is J-Rod and Balls. In today's episode, we're covering this past weekend's PQs, the PQ results. Do Cad reign supreme, or are people finally challenging the status quo? We'll take a look at that in our meta snapshot. And lastly, we'll take a look at a surprise leader in our code breaker play of the week.
All right, and I got a question of the week for you. Which leader are you guys thinking might be able to challenge the meta? So let us know in the comments below. And while you're doing that, like and subscribe. We got the results of 23 different PQs from this last weekend. So let's take a look at the weekend winners. All right, we just had one Eternal PQ this weekend. We had Fidia on Twin Suns Anakin Dadavault winning the PQ in Italy. So if you're paying attention, this is the third week in a row that deck has won a PQ. I think second week for PQs, and then it won the Eternal Open in Galactics. We talk about Cad Bane bands. Maybe they should actually look at this, right?
That's what it looks like. No, that's the thing is, with Eternal, there's not that many, so it's hard to go in and tell. So jumping over to the limited side of things, we had 3 limited PQs this past weekend. We had GNK Sam in the UK. We had ECL Reflex over in Tallahassee, and then we had Keegan Byers in Vancouver, Washington. And I want you guys to take a look at the names here because that's going to be a little bit important. Be important a little bit later.
All right, and now jumping over to Premier, we had 19 of those, and what you're about to see will be no surprise. We had 4 Cad Blue winners: Suardo TCT in Germany, Daniel SP in Spain, Vinch in Rochester, New York, and Seba Rolak in Chile. And these are all Cad winners this weekend, but only having 4 of the 19. Is that a trend we want to see? Maybe.
I think so. Looking at the next winningest leader we had, that was the Luke 4 data vault. So we had Frost 2012 in Fargo, North Dakota, Jaime 98 in Spain, and then Gary Belvin's 8 over in Mississippi. I personally had my top 8 run end to this Luke data vault deck. So
let me put up the picture of you realizing your impending doom that I took while you were.
It was horrible. I didn't stand a chance.
Now with that first play I saw your resource, I was like, But then I snapped a picture on your screen somewhere here, hopefully now, of you just looking, realizing you're about to lose. It's better than the other one with your head in your hand. The last leader that had multiple wins this weekend was Vader Pilot. And there was 2 of those, BN Battle Network, Maddie Kinnabox, and hopefully I pronounced that right, in France, and Desaletia in Colombia. So this leader is going to be around until rotation. Like, the Vader's not going anywhere, right? Nope. So just be prepared for it, right? A lot of sideboard tech for Vader still, and not really Luke. There's not much you can do for the upgrade hate on the Luke side, but there's other ways, right? All right, taking a look at some of the single leader wins we had. We had Holmes DM with Luke 8 Data Vault in Louisville, Brian McDonald with the Ashoka Blue in Maryland, Gibke with Lando Blue in Poland, KB Law with Mando Colossus in Sweden, and SEBH Stretch 47 with the Piet Splash Red in Australia.
Yep. And to round out the rest of the winners, we had, and forgive me for this, Kijie on Shinhati Blue in China. We had White Doji from the Philippines, but I couldn't find a list for that one. We had Hunter Shelburne on Armor Yellow, and then GNK Sam on Krennic Blue in the UK. All right, so we have some special shout outs here. So if you were paying attention, Sam in the UK won the PQ on Saturday, the limited PQ on Saturday, and then took his premier deck on Sunday and won that too. So that's 2 PQs in 1 weekend. It's super impressive.
It's a lot of swoo, and also shout out to Hunter for winning with the armor at our local PQ here in Houston. Hunter is a really solid player, right? He always play well. He's not always, but he's not afraid of playing the non-meta decks. Right?
Yeah.
He's played. He's top, I think, top 4 or top 8 aided PQs with Akbar, Rose Tico, and he just obviously won with the armor. So he had a great run. Congrats to all our weekend winners. Is Cad still a big issue in the meta, or is the meta not as solved as we thought? So let's jump into the meta game snapshot.
We had a decent variety of leaders this past weekend. Cad still had a good showing. So, what are we seeing out there?
So I don't know. Vigilance is still over 50%, right, of the leader base top 8 combo. Cad Bane, the 30% top 8.
Yeah.
Lots of aggro control. What are we thinking? Where are the mid-range decks? Is that the question?
That's the thing. I don't know. For me this past weekend, I topped 8 I was playing Grief, Data Vault. And I don't know if I'd go as far to say that it's a mid range. I mean, it has game, right, with playing Akbar and Kellerin. So you have that. You have that opportunity if the game goes a little bit into that section. But with the way the deck's built, with all the yellow ace bomb or the
blue ace,
the bombers lets you do 2 when you're upgraded. You're winning on R6 a lot of times. So I wouldn't necessarily classify that as a mid-range deck.
Yeah, I took Cad this weekend to a abysmal showing. I think my record was I won the first matchup, and then I got paired into Andrew, and he plays blue villain control, and we ended up drawing, put me in the draw bracket. I lost my third one, and then I think I won like one other one throughout the day, but it was only a 6-rounder anyway.
See, and we mentioned it that Cad Bane is right now, if you're looking at top 8s, is top 8ing at a 30%. Just the next highest I think was 10 when I was looking at it. So he's a bit of a problem, right? We mentioned it last week. Even though he's not winning at a crazy percentage. I mean, I think the top 8.
The percentage went down, right? He won a lot more last weekend than this.
Yeah, week. I mean, there was only 10 premier ones last week, and won half of them, right?
Yeah. Well, he won less, and there was a lot more. So,
and if you ask people, and it's one of those ones that I don't think he reaches the level of broken, like absolute, like Django level of broken, but it's just annoying to play with, right, or play against. And it's not that again him himself are broken. He's good, right? And when you look at limited in this set, Cad Bane, Grief, Shinhati, Balin, they're all good and they can all do well in that limited format. And that's because Cad doesn't have the same support cards, right? The Tie Dagger, the IG, the Justifier just kind of push him over the edge to where his deck just is so synergistic that it's just absolutely brutal to play into.
Yeah, I look at it from a different perspective. Playing a lot of all right, we'll use this thing, right? People complain about playing the mirror. I hate playing the mirror, right? It's just annoying. I don't mind it as much with Cad, right? Like I don't know why. I just don't mind that mirror matchup as much. So I think it's fine. I think with all these other decks popping up and beating it, it's obviously it's still a big representation. But I don't know. I feel that if you do like a Cad ban now, we're just going to have a big shift into like a Deidre Colossus, which is crushing Cad right now too, right? Like percentage.
Thing, you had people talking about Mandalorian Colossus kind of being the answer to Cad as well. And so it seems like, if you're aggressive negotiating for 12 and 15, right, it makes beating Cad, I guess, pretty easy.
Yeah, maybe I should put aggressive negotiations back in my Cad deck.
Well, it's going into the weekend, I felt very comfortable with Grief Data Vault into it.
Did you run into any Cads at the PQ?
One, unfortunately, that was Eric, who top 4 the Galactic Open with Cad Bane. So I won game 1, right? My deck's very fast. And then after the sideboard made it very difficult. Game 2 was close, had him to 25, and then he just had an absolute insane flip turn, and I couldn't recover from that.
Well, that's what happens.
Yeah. And then the thing is, if you can go fast enough into it,
if you can win by flip, you're good.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But you flip at the same time. So it's not like.
And I think that's why you see a lot of Lukes popping up because it's just difficult to deal with. Right? They're just putting so much damage on. And then when Luke's flipped onto something, it's just so difficult to deal with.
Yeah. I mean, you need to have, and you can't like upgrade hate Luke, but I mean, I didn't play against the Luke this weekend. Obviously I played against them online. And the only way I win those is if I can just knock out their ships early on.
And my issue into Luke that I definitely got data vaulted and didn't see my blue aces. I mean, my first game I got absolutely crushed, and then second game I had 4 HP on my base on R6. He plays just the Aether Sprite, right? Exhausted, only 5 resources, and then flips Luke onto that. And so that was my issue, is like, you just can't let them flip onto anything. So even though he didn't attack on R6, the next 2 turns he put 19 damage on my base, and
nothing.
It took me 2 turns to deal with that. Running a Purgle in and then another thing. So.
Yeah, well, you know what? Maybe your grief. You said you got data vaulted. Was the 3 HP worth the 10 extra cards? Maybe not.
In my Swiss round, very much so, because I won a grief mirror with 2 HP left on my base. So,
no way. Okay. Yeah.
So obviously Cad's there, and if you had to ask me, I think, if not, probably I would say next week, I could see ourselves having a Cad Bane ban.
Well, I'm packing for Mexico on Wednesday, so they better not ban him when I'm packing, because I'm playing it next weekend at a PQ. Maybe I'm gonna bring like 2 other decks with me, and then I'll figure out what to play that weekend. But yeah, awesome. Well, that was this week's meta snapshot. And like we mentioned at the top of the episode, we have a bit of a treat here for you. So let's take a look at our Code Breaker play of the week.
Dustin does look like he's holding on to a pre-Vizsla, which would be a board clear. There it comes. Wiping out that. Unfortunately, no Chimera to get the healing out of this time, but still a huge shift in the board. Although we do know Cole's got that super single reactor ignition hanging on too.
I think he's kept that since the first.
Which obviously would be a pretty hefty turnaround. There it is, single reactor, which clears the board, doing 4 damage to Dustin Space, putting him at 29. That's 1 away, and Vader can finish it with just that ping.
Yeah,
if he's got resources left for that. And there's the Vader ping to finish the match. Cole wins with intro battle Hoth Vader.
Yeah.
All right. This play comes from JWW Sport Cards and Gaming YouTube channel. I'll put their link, down in the description. So yes, you're seeing it correctly. That is the intro to Battle of Hoth Darth Vader, right? And to break down the play a little bit, the Admiral Pete, right, has a ready Lawbringer out in space, right? He plays pre-Vizsla to clear the Vader's board, and he gets 2 Mandalorian tokens. So then the Vader goes and plays single reactor ignition, right, and killing 4 units, which is 4 damage on base, putting Piet to 29, and then the Vader ability, you just pay 1, and it's exact lethal. So it's just kind of icing on the cake there. It's a super satisfying way to end the game, and congratulations to Cole, and that's our Cole Breaker play of the week.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. When I was watching it at first, I'm like, oh, well, it's just Pre-Vizsla doing Pre-Vizsla things, just clearing the board. And then the super single reactor ignition. I was like, right at the cusp, right? I won one match up or one game with single reactor ignition for lethal. So it was like, oh, just short of lethal. But then if you remember the Vader ping, game over. Awesome. Well, congrats for that play of the week, and we'll have the channel link down in the description.
Yeah, and I'll just say too, we are going to also put our email down in the description. So there's just way too much SWU going on, and obviously we're just 2 people, and we have our own things going on. So if you guys see plays of the week, all right, if you did something, you have a friend that did something, or something you were watching, let us know, and then we could check it out and possibly put that up as our play of the week.
Yeah, it's kind of impossible for us to sift through hours and hours of PQ video. So we may miss something that was really crazy. So yeah, if you guys see anything, for sure, let us know. But that's it for this week. So as we look ahead to our 3rd week of the Ashes PQ season, we have another 23 PQs coming up. Here's a quick snapshot, and as always, a link in the description. Let us know in the comments which one you're attending. I'm attending one next weekend in Mexico. J-Rod, you're not doing any, right?
Nope.
No. But yep, that's it for us this week. And we'll see you back here next week with the results from the weekend. And that's been your update here for Holonet Weekly.